I'll record in this computer. Okay.
Okay.
Back to type.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Here. Let's see. Let's see this other rather than the previous one, because here I have something else that I want to show you. This is a webinar, a form that I asked after a feedback form, after a talk that I gave. Again, I have the introductory page. When you click on configure, you see if you can decide on the language, widget in process, well, this is always on. Branding type form, if you don't want the type form logo, you'd have to pay for the pro version. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, here we go. In configuración de pregunta, the first thing you have to click on, you start on your question, the first thing you have to click on is configuration. And when you do, you have the, you can, as I said before, you can choose whether to include a description or not. You decide if the start button is going to be empezar or start or whatever you want. And in configuration, you decide, sorry, no, I always leave this as it is because I don't want, you know, additional changes there. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, I include a new question. Okay, when you click on the plus symbol, you can decide if you want to add the kind of question you want to add. Maybe if it's a survey, you want to add the multiple selection of the telephone number or the email. There are many things that you can add as you go along. Here you have the type of questions. When you click on tipo de pregunta, when you start on your question, you have multiple selection. For example, let's change this one. Hi, that's the issue. Sorry, girls. I didn't realize that I should have made another copy of this before. Silly me. But well, I will change it and then I will not save the changes. Okay, let me show you this and then we'll create a new one from scratch very quickly. Have a look at this. This kind of question is a legal question. Tipo de pregunta. It always asks the type of question it is. You decide if it is compulsory or not. If you're going to add a description, in this case, I have the description was the one below just the general comment. You see. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing by the truth, but the truth? Do you swear, blah, blah, blah. So every question can have a description below. And then the type of question can be legal, if it's, of course, if you need to commit people to it, or you can change to multiple election, multiple choice. Sorry, this is multiple selection, not multiple choice. It's multiple selection because you can choose many. The telephone number, short answer, long answer, text. You can choose a set of images, which is very nice, and we'll see it in the next question. A yes, no question, email, and if the people don't write the at symbol, for example, or the .com or something, they will not. It keeps the system keeps us on saying this is not correct. You need to insert an email, an opinion scale that we've seen, punctuation, date, number, and foldable questions. And you can upload a file. You can ask people to upload a file. And that's very interesting because if you're creating a survey, I don't know, for people to apply to a certain position, you can ask them to upload their CV there. Payment, if they are going to pay in any way, and then you give them a link or a web address. So notice all the possible preset options that you have with Typeform. Can you see this? You know, can you see well? I'm not. Okay. Well, so this is a legal form. You get the options accept or not accept. Then we move on to the second. This is a selection of images. So which of these pictures best describes your feeling about the workshop on small bites learning? And they had to say whether they liked it, whether they felt like Superman, whether they were confused or bored. So it's very nice to see what people answer and why. And I normally ask them to tell me why. So you can also include, if you include an image, you can upload an image. You can include some text. For example, the first one is great. It's, I feel good about it. I feel great. Confused or bored. Okay, and then description is compulsory. They didn't appear. Wait, they should appear here. Then you click, sorry, I forgot that you had to click on see the labels, the etiquetas, because maybe you want to clarify the text, the image that you're using with text. So you click here on ver etiquetas. You can make the images bigger if you wish. I like them small. Multiple selection, well, whenever you click on something, they ask you if you want to make sure, if you are sure that you want to change it. The order can be just, you know, random. So that's also interesting, an interesting option if you're getting your students to do the survey many times. And sometimes you need an other option, as in Google Forms. This is so classic, you know, because maybe you're not giving them all the options. I like this selection of images because we're in a very visual world, and I know it's very nice to be able to click on an image and move on. Let's move on to the third question. Here, what I chose was unfoldable, desplegable, an unfoldable answer. And you have all the answers down there below. You just write them and you click on. You keep on adding options. Which of these activities has been the most interesting, or which have been, if you can choose many? In this case, they choose one only. That's why it has been. It's in the singular, but you can add any other option. When you click on the right, you see all the menu being unfolded, and it's very nice when you don't want to use up a lot of space. The next option, you can include a description that I didn't add here, of course, and you can decide if the questions are compulsory or not. This is, again, very important, and it's an option that we have in all surveys, in all survey forms or makers. Next option is, again, unfoldable. So if I were to change it, I'm going to change it anyway to multiple selection. Wait, I need to, just in case I want to copy the options here. So I'm going to change from desplegable, you see on the left, to multiple selection. Okay. Okay, there we are. You see, automatically you get this idea. I'll go back. Sorry, this was the next I wanted to show you. All right, so here. Now this is multiple selection, and you can choose as many as you want. Ah, look, if you don't click on multiple selection, you have to click on the variables. Elección múltiple. Sorry. If you don't click on selección múltiple, this is very important. They will choose only one and move on. Now they can choose as many as they want. The option is always in this other button here, selección múltiple. You click here in the unfold menu, elección múltiple, and then again selección múltiple in the button below, because if not, it allows you to choose only one option. If you can set a limit to the number of options that they select. You can say choose 4 out of the following. That's something that you don't normally find in other survey forms. Of course, you can change the order. It can be random. You can add an option like other. And, well, there are different types of alignment, but that's something I never pay attention to. All right, the next option includes a video. You can include other multimedia, which is really good. And of course, the option is again, elección múltiple, but the only thing I did was to add a video inside. You can add a picture, and you can ask them questions about that picture. And as you can see, you can have the questions below and ask them to choose 1, 2, or a fixed number of, sorry, the answers, no? A fixed number of answers. In this case, I included a video from YouTube about microlearning, and I asked them comprehension questions in general. How do you add it? You go to video, video, añadir, and you click on the link. It can be from YouTube or Vimeo. All right. Let's move on to the next. I like this kind of questions because you can rank, you can ask any kind of ranking. Sorry, I go back again, because once you click, it moves forward. The name is puntuación, punctuation. So you go to punctuation. Not appearing, sorry, I don't know why. There we are. Okay, look, I can choose, and this is very nice. You can choose the number of options that you want to have. Maybe you want 10 little hands, you know, 10 thumbs up, 9, as many as you wish. You can add, in all questions, you can add an image or a video. Here I could add a video and ask them to rank the video, for example, or an image and ask them to rank the image. And the form, look, it can be thumbs up or stars, very cute, hearts, users, and so on. Crowns, you have a million options, dogs, circles, flags, droplets, ticks. I don't know, you just explore yourselves. Then, well, description, of course, always, and if it's compulsory. And finally, well, when I always finish my surveys with a text option. The option is text because I want to thank them for their time. I may include a picture. Here it is. You click on this and you see the options that you get. Let's make a new one from scratch. I don't know whether to, because we don't have the pro version, but Prueba Lógica will ask me to improve my plan. And it's really fantastic. I made it, I used it for identifying the types of potential students that came to my website, and I asked them to analyze their needs. So I asked them what they wanted English for, if it was for business or for pleasure. So that was the first, branching tree, business or pleasure. And then if it was for pleasure, and they had clicked on pleasure, then I would ask them to go to another set of questions related to do you want to travel? Do you want to improve your language in general? Do you want to sit for an exam? If it was for business, well, which area of business do you work in, and what do you need English for? So I made branches, and it took me a lot of time. It was very complete. Well, I have to call it a day, I think. But basically, the logical test or jump is very, very interesting if you want to identify and to have specific answers from your population. And finally, here I have let me show you. In my workspace, if you create a new form, these are all the forms I have, and they are very, very similar in general. But if you click on a new type form, you can start from scratch, or you see you have all these options that you can follow with their own templates. T-shirt, order form template, job application form, employee evaluation form template. So here you have all the ideas you can use type form for, and a sponsorship form template. So I think that if you explore these things, you know that they say that sometimes we don't think of an activity, activities don't come up, because we think of an objective. Sometimes we do things in class because we like a specific activity, and then the objective comes from there. First we choose the activity that we want to carry out because we know that we're going to develop an interesting skill set in our students or reach interesting objectives. Well, I think that if you first look at these gallery of templates, you will see how to improve your business or your classes, to include elements in your class, because they give you ideas of what to do, not only in terms of the micro teaching situations or the specific lessons that we give, but also in terms of our different educational, different professional needs. I would like to go to online. Now there are many. I wanted to do the I can't find invitation template. So let's look at the invitation template. It's very, very simple and it's ready. You can change any way things you want. These are things that they suggest. Usar esta plantilla. You see the types of questions come in different colors. These are these little, on the left we have, pardon, Camus, basta. On the left we have different colors, different questions or different types of questions come in different colors. It's very short. So the first one is the introductory form. If we click, we see what variables we can change. We can add a description, as you see on the left, or remove the description. We can add variables, but they are hidden, not in this version, sorry. We can add an image of our institution if we wish. Again, well, maybe this, añadir imagen. The one problem is that sometimes you cannot change the size of these images, only the ones that appear in the multiple choice version. So you have to accept them by default as they are. You can change the text. Instead of count me in, I'll be there or whatever. And you can add a video to invite people to your site. So you notice that in this question, you have already all the options that you have in all the others. Then we'll move on to the next kind of question.
Can I ask you a question just about that bit?
Sorry?
Can I ask you a question just about that bit?
Oh, yes, of course.
Because it's what I'm interested in is that you can make these elaborate designs and you can insert different types of media into them, and you do all that at your end with your platform and make it lovely. And then how does it get to the students or the people that you want it to get to? How do they access this and respond?
Okay, I will show you the other options, and I will show you how to share and the back end, because you have also the results of these of their answers. You have the back end as in Google. So if you want, I can share. I wanted just to show you this. What's your name? They type their name there. And how will you read? This is an option. Just try it out. And this is very important. Notice that here they say, what's your name? And they included a little face, right? But look at the next question, question number 2. It says, how will you be dressed? What's your name? That means that this option has already got the logical jumps included. So if you say that my name is, and this makes it more personalized. So what's your name? And it says, I know, Cecilia. How will you be dressed, Cecilia? But it has the option already embedded, and I think that for logical jumps, it's best to start with these preset templates. Now, I made them myself, and I learned how to make all those, to add all those configurations. But then, since I didn't keep on paying for the pro plan, I just, forgot about them, or I wrote them down. I write everything down, but I didn't pay more attention. So I'm going to be dressed as a monkey, probably. You see that they included here the 4 pictures. Good choice. Who will be dropping you off in the jungle? All right. So well, notice that they include the types of questions that they think are appropriate, but you can add a new question. Let's add one, and we move on to another thing. I'm going to add a new question. It can be a final screen, multiple selection, a telephone number, a short answer. Sometimes they have short answers or long answers, you see. Trevor, any comments? I can keep changing once I change it here, I can change it here on the left. I can add a text, some text, long answer, or anything I want. Date, that's very useful sometimes, of course. Date, punctuation, a number, unfoldable, or I can ask them to upload a picture of their dressing gown or their costume. Subir el archivo, you see, I have to improve my plan. So well, just check out what includes in which of these templates include an upgrade. Well, let me just answer Ray's question. So I'm going to, here I have, sorry, I'm in my workspace. I'll show you the backstage of one and how to share. It's very simple. This one. Okay, here we have connect. It's private. I have to make it public first. I can include other integrations. If you have a mail team CRM or customer reception management system or something like that, I have MailChimp, you can integrate it. You can integrate it to Google Sheets, but I haven't done that really. And Google Analytics to see how many people, but all these options are paid, you know.
Do you use those facilities, Cecilia?
Sorry?
Do you use those options?
No, because I have to pay. Very simple as that. No. But if I pay for things that I consider useful, you know. You have to make your type forms public, sorry, before sharing. So I go tour around the store. Okay. In the configuration, I decide portion, branding type form, weights, and things. I forget some options, honestly, because there are so many. It has a backstage, really, it's very, very complete. You can customize anything you want. Just that sometimes we use the same options over and over. It's like knowing all Word or all Excel. Who does? You know? Here in the back, but it's interesting, you know, when you go to the backstage, I changed it once and then I just left it like that. When you go to the configuration button of your forms, there is a default option that you choose, that it appears, and then you can choose your default options. And normally I write them there and I change them once and that's it. They always appear this way. But the language, you can choose. I don't know really what proportion or percentage is. This is very. Alertas the email. This tells you if you are receiving, you activate it, and whenever somebody answers your form, you receive an email telling you that somebody has answered it. That's very nice. Salto Lógico is the paid option. The design I already told you, and the different sets of questions. When you want to share, you click on share. You get the link to share it with your, with your community. And well, of course, you can also embed it in a website or well, send it by mail. What I do is normally I just copy and send. And you have here the options of sending it by mail and whatnot. You can see your type form finally. Remember that, see that we have always seen each of these, final versions of our type form as we were editing it. So that's good. And then you click on results and you get all the results and all the answers that you got for this type form in percentages, and it's really very, very interesting. You see, this is like a Google Forms. Probably Google Forms, the difference is that Google is more colorful. This is like plain, but it's okay because information is there anyway. You have pie charts and, bar charts, number of people that have answered. You get also the answers by student or by person, or also the summary of responses. For example, this is the summary. On the left, you see that you get the summary or the answers. This was a copy of the survey I did with my students, and I made other teachers play. So just for fun, just click on the options. So it's not the real answers from my students, but you see that there were 4 people, and I can each person.
Why don't you send that to us?
I will send. Yes.
The student end of it.
I click. You get the email. I send it by email or to the WhatsApp.
Or to the WhatsApp, it doesn't matter.
Yes, yes, you get the link. You click on share, compartir up there.
Because that's interesting to see what they get.
I will share it in the WhatsApp. Let's see. Well,
so it's very simple from their perspective.
It is simple. It's just that there are many options. I mean, I love it. Honestly, you've seen already how many I've done. And
yeah, you seem to be really enthusiastic about it.
yes, I love it because I see what people do when you have to answer it in the WhatsApp, you know.
I'm actually opening it now.
Yes, but sorry, answer it in the cell phone. Because the computer is not so much fun. In fact,
okay.
That's my point. People like the cell phone, and for the cell phone, which is, you know, over 60% of people answer surveys, or 70 or 80 answer things in their cell phones. And really, I get more responses when I ask them in this way. I say, okay, even in a classroom, and we play Kahoot in class, suppose. Okay, I've asked them many times, for example, before a presentation. Suppose I work in companies. I give presentations at the beginning of the year to all the students, I want to make sure that they know. Maybe the survey is here. It should be. I want to know what they remember about the program, how many tests they have, and so on. Because sometimes, you know. So before starting my talk to all the new students and the old students, for example, in the big room, I tell them, okay, you have 1 minute, answer this survey, and they are there in their cell phones. I can, and they answer it, and I see the results. And then I can start my talk by making reference to their replies. And I don't know, if they say that there are 2 exams per year and there are 4, well, if they say there are 4, really there are 2, like important exams, then there are many. But it gives you an opportunity to say, okay, what did people answer? Oh no, this is the right answer. And let's see. I had to restart. I've used it for many years. Inglés en macro here. What's it is? Are you exploring the website? Are you exploring the app?
I see it. It's a very nice format on the phone.
Yeah, I am answering the questions.
Yeah, me too.
Look at this. This is then I show you the survey I asked at Macro, no, to see how much they know of their process. It's fun also because you ask questions also just for fun. So it depends on your purpose. So the most important thing, I think, is the purpose, because the tool is there and it allows you to do really anything. And I think that the best that I can tell you is that all the answers, in all the questions, you can have a picture, you can have an image, a video, and you can choose in all the questions whether you want that question to be punctuation, multiple choice, short answer, long answer, multiple selection. And then you have all the tools you want for general information about the student or the respondent, like email, date, name.
Just one question. So Typeform, you said it's good for the phones. So for example, and you said that it's similar to Google Forms.
Google Forms is fantastic, really. You know, when APIBA makes a seminar or an event, many times it uses, I think all the times it uses Google Forms. And then you get information from the respondents in a kind of Excel sheet or something of the sort. With this, and it's great for cell phones. It's good for cell phones and for computers. But what I noticed is that because today people use their cell phones any place, anytime, more than anything else, and they do homework more readily on these. If I have to ask them a question, you know, you can ask just 2 questions, you know, a name, and then you give them a video for micro learning. Give them a video and multiple choice or a paragraph in the next question, and you already have the responses from your students. For example, one of the things that I like is having my students create a survey and then answering the result, create a survey and then analyzing the results of that survey and sharing the results of the survey with others. For example, we carried out a survey to see how many people were interested in this product. Okay, so they make the survey, and then they see that in the back end, they see the results, and I tell them how to share those results, how to explain those results. You know, sales have increased dramatically or have dropped slightly since last week, but it all depends on how you think it out, you know. That's why I think that it's very useful, and it was very useful for me to see the options in the pre-designed template, because it gives me ideas of how I can really, not how I can use Typeform, I can use also Google for that matter, but how I can gather information to serve my purposes as a teacher, as a businesswoman, as a...
Good. And then, because as a gist, I would say that then Typeform is ideal for cell phones. You can use it with a computer, but the main objective would be for cell phones. And Go Formative, because I'm trying to draw a comparison and to pick, because I won't be able to use all of them, right?
No.
So would you say that Go Formative and Google Forms are similar? Because I want to pick one and use one.
Yes, of course.
Right? Because if I spread out, I will do a little bit of each, right? So would you say that Google Forms and Go Formative are similar?
Yes.
Yes.
I am not so familiarized with Go Formative, honestly.
Okay.
I know Google Forms. I love Google Forms. It's great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
But it's more rigid. But it looks better on the computer. This one looks better on cell phones.
Perfect.
And not so good on the computer. I don't know what your impression was, but that was my feeling.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I've tried it, and
it's much better than Google Forms.
And
sorry, I think one of the issues here is that there are lots of apps that are emerging now very quickly in different areas, and they kind of share a lot of characteristics, but the differences lie in how much they cost in terms of the features that you need and use. And so you get the introductory app, which is for free with a set level of access and features and what have you, and then you pay for the premium version, and maybe different plans, and then you get these extra things. But it would be interesting to take a look at how they compare in terms of what you get initially and what you actually have to pay for. Sometimes it's worth paying a little bit to get a whole bunch of features.
Yes.
But it depends. It depends what they offer. But in terms of the overall, I imagine there's quite a lot of similarities between Go Formative and Typeform. We've looked at the two on this SIG now, and the other thing is that they always come up together when you do searches in terms of this type of thing. And I suppose the real comparison style we're interested in is, so what do they really cost in terms of what's the initial package, and what do you get when you pay a little bit more? Do you get something that's absolutely fabulous? And it's those kinds of things that are interesting to us. With our rapidly declining peso, we don't want to pay all these dollar charges to the United States.
Well, Typeform is free, and I use all I have always used the free version, and it's fantastic, and I use it for everything I want. And if I want to use the template, suppose that customizes the respondent's name, that just mentions his or her name, I don't want to pay for the pro version. I use the template, and I eliminate the the formula, you know, so that I don't pay for that. And really, it's very versatile, very versatile. I use a lot. I use the pro version a lot, and the paid version really. I used it for the logical jumps. It was. I don't know if I have it here now, but I write everything I do, and it took me quite some time to study the possible logical jumps and how to get there. If eventually anybody thinks that they will need that, I can get together with that person or something to give them a brief, because it's really, it takes time to study. But I don't think it's worth, you know, for the purposes, the general purposes that we here, to get into that mess.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's if you're going to reap the benefits of it. I have really studied, and I can't remember where I put my. I have many copybooks with the information.
Sorry, Ceci. We're going to welcome Marisa Moretti, that she has just, she's a new SIGger. Hello, Marisa.
Hi,
Are you there? Well, she has just joined us. And we, just to tell you that Cecilia was presenting type form, and we are finishing with that, just for her to know.
Yes. I would answer these questions. Hi, Marisa. I would like
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, that's great.
So the name of the app I used to create my avatar is Tundu. For comments.
Okay. Great.
And you have the option of choosing your own characters and create something from scratch, apart from the.
Oh, right. This is what people do with the birthdays, is it?
Sorry?
When people send these kind of cartoon versions of themselves for birthdays, is this it?
Yes.
I've always wondered. Either they're very good drawers or they're using something.
Yes. So it's for free.
What's the site?
The solution is very good. Google Forms is. I'm answering the questions on the chat. I said it's free, and you can really live long with this free version and use it for other purposes. Google Forms is an alternative, but that appears to be more comprehensive. Yes, it gives you. It's more versatile. It has more options, really. How do students access? You send them the link. As simple as that.
Excuse me, Cecilia, may I interrupt you just a second? Yes. As I enter or join the session rather late, what link or what digital resource are you talking about?
I'm talking about Typeform, Marisa.
Okay.
Typeform, the free version, right?
Marisa, you'll be able to, this is being recorded, and you'll be able to watch the video afterwards and catch up with everything. Okay,
thank you.
So there's no problem there. You won't have missed anything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I think I've already talked about how often I use the app and in the teaching context, for everything, really. I don't have the pro version now, and well, that's it. Any other questions? I'm sorry because really Typeform has many options that I don't consult regularly, but I hope it has been more or less clear. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's very comprehensive.
It was very clear. It's very nice.
Thanks a lot.
Just one question. Do you have all good connection today? Because I feel that sometimes there's a delay, and I don't know if it's me or sometimes I lose some words. Is it my connection or it's general?
In my case, I haven't had any problem.
So it's me.
In my case. But,
okay.
I had an issue at the beginning, but it was a cable issue. I managed to fix it.
Okay. Well, if you have any comments about Typeform, then perhaps we can leave them in the. Or if you want to share your Typeforms, you can.
Yeah, well, I mean, and to create an account, it's a simple process, just to fill in a form, to register.
Yes, it's very simple.
I think at the end of the year, we'll do a little survey among our members to see what people have actually adopted, because it would be quite interesting see what's actually caught on and what hasn't. I know last year when I started doing this, I came across Symbaloo and I got really into that, and I kind of use it now all the time. And I wouldn't have done that were it not for what I see on this in these meetings. And I think it's quite, because as people start to adopt something and use it, obviously they start to learn more about it as well. And then it would be interesting to have a little kind of reflective session on what have been the highlights of the year in terms of things that people have actually picked up on. Because the other thing, of course, with most of these apps is that they're quite idiosyncratic in terms of they appeal to certain people's tastes over certain things, and they can be used in certain contexts that we may work with or we may not. And in that sense, then it's kind of it's a very sort of ecosystem, you know, that we're part of. But it's see how it all actually ends up at the end of the day. Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks a lot, Cecilia. That was another great contribution to our growing pile of all these apps that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, now we've got, well, it's 20 past 10 now. We haven't got anything scheduled. I think perhaps we can open the floor a little bit to perhaps general questions for the next 10, 15 minutes or so, in terms of either what have people been using or what has come up recently in terms of things related to the SIG that we can perhaps share.
I have a question. I have a client that has always had classes in their offices, and now they want to move to online classes, and I have to design everything for them. Do you think that Google Classrooms is a good platform? And
yeah.
It has. I don't. It should be. I don't want to pay for that because.
No.
So
I use it, and it's simple. You cannot do a lot of things, but it's nice. Yeah, it's simple to use. I mean, on the teacher side and on the student side.
And what do you mean that there are not many things to do?
I mean, for example, you cannot. I know that there are other kind of online platforms in which you can check whether students, I don't know, have read what you sent to them. It's like you cannot monitor a lot, but you can send them material, links, questions, tasks, and they, I mean, and you get them in the classroom and give them feedback. That works very well.
For example, I can use this.
ICQ wouldn't be. I was saying that ICQ wouldn't be great for online sessions for your I mean, not clients, for your pupils. ICQ, have you heard about it?
No, ICQ.
ICQ, I type it.
So we're exploring learning management systems right now, right?
Right.
ICQ. I don't know that one. I know Schoology. No. You know, Schoology is fantastic. I don't know much about Google Classroom, but I trust Janine. I know it's really good also. But you know what happened to me? I have a Moodle environment. I have Moodle and I did 2 diplomas Moodle and all that. And it's the backstage is, I mean, it's crazy. And I was like 2 years to work on that. And then Schoology came up, and I realized that many of the functionalities that I had with Moodle, people could have much, I mean, freer, of course, and with less effort, and it was much simpler than Moodle. So Schoology allows you to have a lot of functionalities of Moodle without going crazy or having to study so much. Really, it's fantastic. You get, I fostered its use at the Lengua Vivas because I knew a teacher who used it, and I asked her to give a chat to share that with a group that were interested, and they were really fascinated. And I saw that, for example, with Schoology, you can upload material. If you have a closed environment, you can track down your students. You can know what they are answering and what not. You can create forums. You can create questionnaires like tests that Moodle allows you to do, but questionnaires as final exams with automatic responses. You know, the teacher at phonetics uses it there, Ana Irazábal, probably know her. Well, and many others, but and it's free. Moodle.
This is new, right, Cecilia? It's replacing Moodle.
Sorry, what?
This is new. It's a new development.
Well, I don't know how new. Maybe it's like 10 or 80. No, I would like.
I've never heard of it.
But it's recent. What happens with Moodle? Moodle is not free. There's a difference between free and open source. Moodle is open source,
right,
which means that people can access it online, but then in order to implement it, if you have the knowledge, it's free for you. But many times, for example, I set up and implemented my own learning management system, my own Moodle, my own environment. I can share a link if you have an idea. But really, I had to study like 2 years to do that, and to see all the configurations, and then to see all the pedagogy that was put into Moodle. Being open source means that people can access it, and that there is a community of people interested in developing it further for free. But then, probably, if you haven't studied as much as I have in this sense, you have to hire. It's not going to be free in the sense that you cannot download your own Moodle. You cannot access. You have to have somebody set it up and configure it, and then you need somebody to manage the platform. Now, I would suggest to forget about Moodle unless you really want to explore it further, and I can chat with you anytime, and start looking into Schoology, for example, that has a lot of functionalities of Moodle. It is free. It's not open source in the sense that probably it's proprietary. People own it. There is an owner for it. It's not free, open source. It's proprietary. There is a group of people that is creating updates for that. It's not the whole world community as in Moodle, but it's more practical for us teachers.
That is very important for me. And all these applications that we are seeing, like Typeform, GoFormative, Google Forms, live worksheets, can I use them in Google Classrooms and in Schoology?
I guess you can, I mean, just share the link, but then for the feedback or for getting the results, you will have to enter the specific website. I mean, Typeform in the case.
You can have a go, Alice, and then you can come back here and tell us how it works.
I will do, but I need a lot of time. I'm a beginner, complete beginner, but I'm learning.
Yeah,
and I always
because that's another area
sessions.
which is quite interesting, which is the integration between all these things.
Yes.
Which is one of the things. Obviously, one of the advantages of going with a great big behemoth like Google is that you've got lots of things that are all kind of integrated into Google. So with their Google account, you know, they get into everything and that they can use everything. But with these kind of more bespoke apps, which have the benefit of providing you with something that's up and running, that you can just dive in and it's nicely packaged and off you go. The question then is, well, how does that actually relate or integrate to the stuff that we generally use? Is it convenient to use? And I found that to be an issue, for example, with Genially. I mean, when we started off at the beginning of the year, we were talking about Genially, and I was like, oh, look at these nice slides that you can make and things like that are all interactive. But I was at a loss as how that would generally be integrated into the other things that I use, because there seemed to be a limited functionality in terms of what you get for free. You couldn't download it and have it off of the internet, unless you paid for the premium service and these types of things. And those are areas, I mean, they're obviously the areas where the developers of these things monetize, where they made their money. But it's for us, as far as users are concerned, we're interested in how flexible they are as well, in terms of how they integrate with what we already use, what we already practice, what students are familiar with as well. These types of things.
I think that in the worst of cases, if one uses any platform, Google Classroom, Schoology, whatever, we can always have the links to the sites outside, and students can still. I think that the advantage of having a learning management system is like having all the students go to one place to look for material, not to different WhatsApp groups. So it's like, for me, my Moodle, I shared my link. You have a look at the outside, but you see, it's like having an institute and with many classrooms, and any management system or any classroom is good for getting students just there to go to one place to look for information. And I think that our role in this overloaded society is to simplify the world for them, to be like a funnel. Our role is to say, okay, the world is vast, internet is vast.
Yes.
But our role is to say, listen, focus on this. We have to tell them how to focus. This is how we can learn, help them better.
Right.
The world is out, you can do a million things out there, but I'm responsible for I know what you need, how you are, how you learn best, do this. And our role is funnel. I think.
Right, I agree with that. And then another question is that I have a student that is a complete beginner and they want me to have classes online. So do you have, and he used to have face-to-face classes, so do you have good websites for beginners exercises that are interactive or are easy to put into on an online class? Do you know? Or should I design everything? Maybe the idea is to have things.
But there are many out there. I don't know. I don't understand. Sorry.
The question is, right? A website or where I can check for exercises for complete beginners that they are already done. Very simple things like verb to be from scratch. The one that you suggest that is good.
I'm just doing a Google search for that.
Well, 2 sessions ago, when the girls talked about Go Formative and live worksheets, right?
Yes.
Those 2 had the option, a search option.
Yes.
So there you had so you say verb to be, you type right verb to be, and there you get a list of already made.
With I check live worksheets, but there are just a couple. So I thought of it, maybe if you knew or if you are using already one for complete beginners, because for intermediates and advanced, it's very simple to design and to prepare, but for beginners, it's requires a lot of time. So that's why if you had some suggestions or something, it would be good.
I've just posted you my first impressions from
Learn
Google.
English, British Council,
Excuse me, could you type it?
They're on the chat.
You're typing them.
Oh, they're already.
Okay, thank you.
If you use these, let us know how they go again, because I haven't used them.
Okay.
What I would like to do is take the chat and then the video this time, and I'll put it on the blog. I didn't write the blog last time, and Janina did write the blog a bit before, but we both kind of missed the last session a bit, and we're going to catch up with that and put all this stuff in there. because it would be nice to generate a kind of feedback loop where people start using some of this stuff and then feeding back in terms of how it actually went, you know, for people who are perhaps not experienced with some of these things, and how user friendly they are and stuff. That would be very useful as we go along, I think, and we need to document that. It would be nice. Okay. Right. Any other questions?
I have a question now. We're talking about learning management systems, so I am curious about what Sandra posted up there in the chat.
Right.
Because I cannot hear you, Sandra.
No, I can't either.
Oh.
Sandra says she uses Moodle, right?
Yes, because Sandra says that she uses Moodle, but there is a restriction on the number of users. No, you can have 1,000 users in a classroom. And
one question about Moodle I have, which is, from what you said, it sounds to me like being open source is that anyone can access it and anyone can develop it if they've got the skills time to develop. But the thing is, you could probably also get things that are like templates and stuff that other people develop that you can then use and you pay for, I suppose. Is that true?
Yes. Yes, there are, sorry. Yes, there are millions, or I don't know, hundreds of schemes.
Right.
They call it schemes to configure. I posted the link to my Moodle so you could see.
Right.
There are so many. Lots of universities in the world use it. Now, open source means that the source code, el código fuente, you know, when you enter internet and sometimes you click on a button and you see some special HTML text below, some special codes below.
Yeah.
Well, that's the back code or the configuration code, the source code. The source code is available to anybody who wants to improve on it. So one of the advantages of any open source software, material, application, whatever, is that it's updated respecting the needs of the community much more than proprietary software, which depends on the funding of the particular company and the intention.
I'm thinking here there's a parallel with WordPress.
Well, WordPress now, of the many templates that WordPress has, which is fantastic, but one of the templates of WordPress is like a management system. I don't know if it's free or paid, but I know it's good, but I haven't really studied the comparison. But WordPress has now a learning has come up because it used to be like just a website page, but now it's also launched. Last 10 years it has launched like a learning management system. I can't remember the name, but they say it's good. I just honestly I haven't explored anything.
Let's clarify these terms here. When you look at websites, we often talk about the content management system.
Yes.
And those are systems for managing everything that appears on a website. WordPress is one of those.
Yes.
Joomla is another. There are different versions and they require different levels of skills. An LMS is a learning management system, which is a system which provides a platform to allow teachers and students to get together, share resources and communicate with each other in offline, online, in real time. I mean, it's quite flexible. Yep.
Okay. Yes.
I think so, right? That's my impression anyway.
That's it. Yes. Sandra is saying that she has a closed classroom in Moodle, so evidently there is a way in which you can hire. Evidently, I have a whole Moodle is like a learning management system. I have the whole institute plus specific classrooms, as you can see in my site, specific classroom. So evidently, for what you say, Sandra, you can hire a classroom alone, And they give you restrictions on that, and you pay the owner of the whole institute for that, or you don't pay, it's free. Ah, okay. I'm reading your lips, it's free. Okay, interesting. Can you share the site, because maybe somebody wants to explore that option? Okay, pictures. Thanks, Dan. Thanks. and it would be interesting, really, Ray. You are such an expert on content management systems and all that. What you wanted to share about creating our own website that's really very useful, and exploring WordPress.
Oh, we can do that next time. I'll have a look, because I've been playing around with both Joomla and WordPress. So we can have a look. We'll have a bit of a session next time. But this week we're kind of out of time.
Yes.
We've done very well, despite having a few survivors on the raft. It's gone rather well.
Yeah. All right. It would be lovely, because
Sandra has already shared the pictures on our WhatsApp group.
Ah, okay. All right.
Let's see, Sandra. I haven't. If anybody, I offer this. Well, I don't know. I will explore Sandra's options. But if anybody wants to have a look at Moodle inside, at the backstage or whatever, I don't know. I have no problem. We can, organize a meeting or something. If you want to know what happens inside, or how it works, or if you're interested in taking the step.
Okay. Well, look, if we haven't got anything else, I think that just about wraps it up today. Yep. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got a video now. I suppose we've got several people who've been recording. Is that correct? So we should have at least one decent video, because I dropped internet badly at the beginning and I missed things. But I hope that somebody's got a reasonable copy of everything.
Yeah, Ceci started recording, right? 9:30, more or less.
Okay, all right, good. So we'll have a look at that. We'll review it. We'll get busy on the blog. It's Shanina and I that are writing the blog now. Is that right, Shanina? You haven't. You're happy helping out. You're not gonna say, "Oh God, I don't want to do that again. That was awful." Okay, so that makes two. I'd encourage you to read or take a look at the blog and make comments and circulate it, because that way, it gets more traffic and stuff as we write it, and it's kind of nice when you put the effort into preparing it, that people actually take a look at it, and it helps to spread the word about the SIG and that kind of thing. See?
Yeah, and share the experiences with the apps too.
That's right, and I think one of the interesting things is reiterate is that at this stage of the game, as we've reviewed several things this year already, now is the time towards the end of the year. It's quite interesting to see how people actually have used these things, whether they have, and what they've discovered has become useful, and what hasn't so much, or what they don't find useful. And these areas I put in the group for next session: content management systems and learning management systems. I mean, we've talked about that quite a bit today, and I think it would be good to have sessions on that, because they're super interesting and super relevant in terms of what we're doing now, including the one we're using now, because we're using a platform at this moment, and it seems to be the way the world's going, as we all end up living in our bunkers, hiding from terrible temperatures and hurricanes and God knows what. All right. Anyway,
one of the SIGers that I contacted gave me that name that I have just typed. That
okay.
It is I think it is another learning system. And I don't know. She offered to talk about it. Laureana Campologni. I don't know if you know her. Well, that is it looks as it is another one.
There it is. Iliademy, create your own online course.
So it's another environment like that.
That would be very interesting.
Another platform, you mean?
Yeah, it
Kind
looks
of.
like.
Looks like something that creates a sort of MOOC. You see?
Because some platforms are provided by institutions, right? So it's okay, you have already the platform, but when you have to provide your own platform, that's the idea.
Yes.
I know that Google Classrooms, for example, they use it in schools, right?
Yes. It
Remember?
depends. I mean, I think there's a great effort in the United States anyway, there's a great effort on the part of these giant companies to be present in the classrooms, all right? And Apple and Google, they strike deals with US school districts to get their students to use this stuff, and it's all, you know, it's all kind of business. That doesn't mean they're the only options that you can use or the best ones, right? But they are, you know, very present in the market. Okay, well, there's another option then.
Well,
okay, how many of you use MOOCs, for example? You know,
I have never heard about MOOC. What is it?
Massive open
online course. The most famous ones are
Excuse me?
Udemy,
Yes.
Coursera,
Okay.
Harvard X.
YPX.
Yes, I did one. I did one which is very good.
edX.
Yes, Harvard X.
And these are these great online courses that are produced by the universities, where they have they post materials, and they're actual courses. You can pay to get the certificate, or you can do something which is called auditing the course, where you can look at the course materials, you can listen to all the lectures, because all the lectures are in video format, and you can even do the exercises and what have you, but you don't get your certificate.
Right, I did one.
About new areas, it's very interesting, because one of the great features of it is that it's prepared by, you know, academics who are up to date with the latest developments in the field that they're working in. And that makes it, you know, very interesting in terms of what's happening, particularly in the States. A lot of it comes out of the States. Big universities in the States are contributing. So look up, Coursera is one of the big ones. edX, I think, is MIT, which is one of the big ones as well. And Udemy is another one. I'll put them there. You just look them up. They're very, very well known. But they're called MOOCs, and they have tens of thousands of students in every course from all over the world. But, you know, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you and your you do it. You know?
Too many.
Yeah.
I did this Leaders of Learning from Harvard X, and it was excellent.
Right.
And I had an idea, I think I mentioned it, I don't know if here or in the history blog, to start an institute, and I had some ideas, and the funny thing is that with all this technology thing, starting something physical, it's like queer. Well, but the things that come in this course has to do with what the ideas I have in mind. So I said, I'm not so crazy, but it's excellent. So I strongly recommend it. Leaders of Learning from Harvard.
Great,
Right.
thank you.
Okay, well then maybe that's something for a later session. But anyway, we'll perhaps we should call it a day today, and thank the presenters, the presenter. And,
yes, sorry if I was not clear at times. Like I got many,
no,
there are many options really in type form, but I tried to.
It's great to see somebody who's very enthusiastic about what they're using, transmit that enthusiasm to everybody else, right? As well as learning about the app. So that's excellent.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Thank you, Ceci.
Let's call it a day today, and we'll meet up next time. We'll notify, you know, as usual, through the usual channels. and pay attention to the blog, and the video will go up very soon as well for everybody. And I guess that's it. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend.
The same
You
to you.
too.